This Explorer is a 2006. It's a common issue with these trucks. These handles are readily available on the internet. I bought a replacement handle on Amazon. What I'll do is I'll put a link in the description of the video. It's the one we're installing out on Amazon, so you can click on the link and go buy it out of there if you happen to need one. But it's not that hard of a job to do, and we're going to show you what's involved with it. The darn thing kind of broke in my hand. There's like a little couple screws in here. There's one on each side. These handles tend to break pretty easy on the Explorers.
All right, so we're going to take the panel off of this thing so we can get at the door handle. And we have a couple of screws on the bottom here of the door panel. These are 7s. Zip those out. We've got our tool here to pop this cover off here. Okay, we got that off. It's got some trim pieces here. We'll take it off. All right, so we're going to pop this trim panel up with our tool here so that we can get our electrical connections disconnected here. Squeeze connections here and here. And this one has a little tongue in the back. Okay, that's off out of our way. We've got a couple of screws in here, and let's see, I think they're 7s. Okay, those are going to fall in, and we're going to probably get a little magnet to pull them out. And this has a trim panel that's supposed to pop off here as well. Get that off. We've got a couple of trim panels in here, a couple of 7mm screws inside here we're going to pop out. And you get a little magnet to draw these out, draw that one off, and then we can push the panel upward. See that? Screw out of here. Yeah, our other screw up top here, it's found its way down somewhere. We're going to fish that one out. See if we can get it. Tied in here somewhere. We will find it though. Alright. Oh, there's our bolt. That's good. And we're going to, I think we're going to disconnect this electrical plug out here. Yeah. All right, so we don't have to pop this off. We'll knock this back into place. And we've got our cable for our door latch here that from the inside here, we're going to disconnect this so we can get the panel off. And it's only if it can hold the light. You have to swing this up so we can get it underneath the locking tab here. Unless we can squish this. Let me get some needle nose and squish this down. I'll squeeze these tabs down here. So I push this down. Once we get it out, we can slide this down and then out. Now the panel's off. This is what's going to connect to the outside. This also connects to the latch. So let's get this cover off and see if we can see this handle. Now we've got all this plastic on here and it's glued on. You want to be kind of gingerly with it because we want it to go back on. So it's got like a rubber membrane. some time pulling it up. Stuck on pretty good. Working it back. We're going to peel enough of this back and see if we can see this door handle without taking everything off of it, if we can. Alright, there's our handle. We got 10 millimeter up there, and we got one up over there. And I think I can possibly get my hand in here with the swivel, and I think that's the direction we're going.
So there's a bolt right there, and then on the other side, the other bolt is right there.
So it doesn't look like we have to disconnect the linkage of the latch, because that's connected to the lock. So looking at the new handle, I think we just got to unbolt these 2 10s and 11s, and this thing's gonna pop right off. Just might want to use the impact gun. Something's turning in this handle, which is probably my luck. Okay, we got a swivel on this one. Let's see if the same thing's happening. The studs came out of the plastic handle, and we're gonna have to hold them with vice grips. So this rod right here hooks to the handle. We gotta hook this on the new handle.
Okay, can you hear that there? Oh, that rod right there?
Yeah.
Alright.
And we're gonna hold the stud. He's gonna hold the stud on that side. I'm gonna take this out right now. Ready? Yeah.
So originally this stud broke on this side, which is why I had to replace the handle. It just rotted away. And this stud, trying to turn out the 11 millimeter bolt, it just unthreaded from the handle. So we're holding it with some channel locks to get the bolt out of it. So this hook right here, we didn't need to unhook those little yellow clasps right there. You can leave them alone. So this will hook right onto the new door handle. And want to compare the old to the new one? So this is the old one right here. This is the new one I bought off Amazon. This should be the same. They look pretty similar. This is a little bit different, but it shouldn't cause any issues, hopefully.
I'm gonna hold the rod so you can hook that onto the thing.
So that rod's gonna hook right into the hole.
Nope, and then just push it down now. There you go, now it's coming up and there you go. All right. Now, line up the hole. I gotta line up the lock here. Yep, you're correct on the lock.
Yeah.
Right there, you got to get the other side up. Tony's side has to come up a little more. That side's in. Tony's side has to come up. Now push in right there. Okay.
There you go. So
Let me catch this lock setup on the stud here now.
So this side right here has an ear on it. You almost kind of have to scoop the ear in first and set the door handle into place. It's
The
gonna
key?
come.
The key?
Yeah, it does.
No.
It's like
It's not.
So Steve over here is going to catch some nuts, and then we're going to talk about what happened. Right, Lamel?
Sure. You can kick somebody in the nuts, but you can't touch them.
So we got the two nuts on the studs from the handle, and Tony's going to go in there and show you. And on this side, up over here, we had the nut that has to go through the lock that's centered. That was kind of tight pushing it on, and we caught the new left arm here on the new white eyelid there that came with the new latch. So all we got to do is tighten this stuff up right now. You got one nut here, and then we got one that's over on the other side over here. And tighten these two up, and make sure that the lock looks centered, the latch looks centered on Laval's side, and we should be good.
So with the lock, what was going on, Steve? Did you have to?
When we were trying to push the stud through with the handle, we had to kind of feed it through the lock at the same time to get it on. And then we just put, when the stud was there, I just put the socket over it like this and tapped it, and someone held the latch on the other side and it slid right on. Now we're just gonna tighten this stuff up. Does that lock look centered over there, Laval?
Yep, nice and centered.
So we got the handle in, and we pushed in on the latch and tried it before we went any farther. And everything's bolted on, just the two bolts will pull it back on. Lock mechanism's working okay. We're gonna feed these back into the holes here. And then we're gonna push our glue back down, the weather strip thing they have on. Get these all in. This is making be a sound, make sure it's nice and quiet, so you wanna get this back on. So put this back on. When it's hot in the summertime, it'll probably stick a little better, but it's pretty good right now. And we're gonna grab the door panel back there. We're gonna feed our wiring through this. First thing we're gonna do is hook our latch back up over here. And we can catch this down through the hole right here. We're gonna push that down, and then it locks in place. We pull this back, and then that snaps in place. Now we can catch our bottom bolts, our bottom plastic pieces in the hole, and we want to make sure that we get everything coming through the panel like this. And we have our latch here right now. We're going to plug this in for the mirror. We'll plug this back in right now. And I'm assuming it went this way, so it has a flat spot with a notch, and the notch is down, so now lock back into place like such. Okay, and we're going to get our panel back in place, and if they're all lined up, we got our plugs coming through here. And the electrical is loose. We have to pull up on the door button latch and line this one up. Okay, make sure the panel fits flush all the way around, and then we can knock it down into place. We're going to know if it's in place by looking through with the light to see if the screws are in play. We got our screw holes here all lined up good, and so are these. So we're going to start screwing these all back together. We're going to feed these in. Make sure they just start. We'll get them all started, and then we'll go back and snug them up. Snug these up. that snug. Got our electrical panel. We can start plugging back in. This stuff's only going to plug in one way, so let's get our wires caught. This one went up front. To here. This one is plugging down into here. Everything clipped and locked in place. Okay, these have these clips that lock in here. And those are snapped in place. Now we've got our cover that goes over here. And our cover that snaps on here. Okay, that's all on there. Then we got 2 screws to put on the bottom of the door panel. These were the 6mm here, 7s I think. Yeah, 6 is too small. So it looks like we're going with the 7s. That should be it. We're going to check the door handle operation, and like I said, now that we got the panel back on, before you close the door, it's probably a good idea to close the latch without closing the door. Make sure you got everything hooked up right. You totally want to pull on that handle there.
Yep.
And it's unlatching, it just needs some lube, so we should be good.
And here's what the handle looks like on the outside, all installed. That's it. If you guys have any questions, leave a comment on the channel and I will reply back to them. Thanks for watching.